my children! While we're on the topic of flesh eaters, why don't we look at a popular tale featuring our old favorite cannibals, zombies. This is The Walking Dead.
Some of you may know The Walking Dead because of that TV show with the same name.
TV show? Ha! Who the hell watches TV? Weirdos. I'll just be over here with my comic books.
However, The Walking Dead began as a comic book under the pen of Robert Kirkman, who was also the scribe who brought us Marvel Zombies. However, while that story was a dark comedy about heroes becoming monsters, this is a more traditional zombie apocalypse. Most zombie stories tend to follow a strategy similar to Night of the Living Dead. A group of human survivors attempt to hole up in a location and hope rescue will arrive, or at least survive as long as they can. This one, however, takes a few liberties with the idea. The Walking Dead, at the time of this video's release, is still going on, and it has lasted for 9 years. As you can probably imagine, this means that the group of survivors has not stayed in one place for the 100+ issues of the comic's existence. Instead, there is traveling as characters are killed off and they are replaced with new ones. However, today we will start off by talking about the first volume, Days Gone By. The series begins with Officer Rick Grimes being shot and put into a coma, and like 28 days later, Rick awakes after a month of unconsciousness to find the hospital deserted and the undead ravaging the countryside. He happens upon a friendly man and his son, who is so friendly that he hits Rick with a shovel, who explains about the outbreak of the undead. After they get supplies from the abandoned sheriff's office, Rick heads off on his own to try to find his wife and son in Atlanta. However, the city has been overrun, forcing Rick to retreat and meet with a group of survivors, including his lost family. And thus begins a brief battle of wills for leadership of the survivors with Rick's old partner Shane. Shane is convinced that the government is going to come any day now and make things better, while Rick thinks they need to move the survivors someplace safer. After all, they are merely hanging around outside as it gets colder and colder. The best zombie apocalypse dramas are all about strong characters and a true feeling of dread from the situation, my children. The Walking Dead succeeds like the best of them. You do not hate any of them, and the characters react like real people would. For example, the survivors decide that everyone should be taught how to use the guns, including the children. After all, you can't rely on one person to keep yourselves going. Perhaps the most suspenseful scene is when Rick and another survivor of the group, Glenn, have to get into the city to raid a gun store. Atlanta is, of course, overrun with the zombies. Rick realizes that the undead do not attack one another, and they seem to lack intelligence, so the awful smell they have must be what keeps them from attacking each other. They cover themselves in blood from a dead zombie, and it seems to work. Until it starts to rain, anyway.
The Walking Dead is a tasty tale of survival after the zombie apocalypse. And like with the Marvel zombies, I find myself sympathizing with these poor undead souls. You know, there's very little meat on this fake hand.